We met where no one else could see, behind the curtain of secrecy. You said they'd never understand, so we held tight with shaking hands. But love that hides begins to rot, and promises are soon forgot. I stayed when all the lights went dark. You let them tear us both apart. Behind closed doors you made me stay. Said we'd be safe if we just obey. But in the dark you found someone new, while I was bleeding just for you. You kissed me quiet, told me lies, said one day we'd stop living in disguise. But behind closed doors you shut me out. Now all that's left is fear and doubt. I wore the blame, I played my part, held your secret like sacred art. They cursed our love, called it sin, but I didn't know you let them win. I took the fall for every lie, and watched you leave without goodbye. You turned your back so easily, as if we weren't a tragedy. Behind closed doors you made me stay. Said we'd be safe if we just obey. But in the dark you found someone new, while I was bleeding just for you. You kissed me quiet, told me lies, said one day we'd stop living in disguise. But behind closed doors you shut me out. Now all that's left is fear and doubt. I waited, I prayed, I wore the pain, thought hiding love would still remain. But silence made me disappear, while you were holding someone near. Behind closed doors you broke the vow. You're with someone else, I see it now. While I was clinging to your ghost, you were chasing what you loved the most. You kissed me quiet and turned away, left me in night while you walked in as you used to day. Behind closed doors I lost my soul, and you walked out so cold, so whole. You said we'd make it through the noise, that love would find its rightful voice. But whispers can't outrun the blame, and silence only fuels the flame. I held your hand behind the scene, while you chased someone in between. You swore you'd fight, you swore you'd stay, but lies don't age, they just decay. Silent promises, they cut the deepest. Words unspoken still haunt the weakest. You said nothing, but your eyes confessed that love like ours would never rest. You built a dream on sinking sand. twisted name. You said you'd face the hate with me, but you were first to try and flee. I watched you stand behind their hate, while leading me to my own fate. You swore we'd burn through every rule, but I was just your loyal fool. You made me beg, you made me breathe, while feeding someone else your need. You were just an enemy in disguise, hiding love beneath your lies. You kissed me with a poisoned tongue, then ran when the damage was done. I fought the world just to keep us strong, but you were cheating all along. You wore a halo made of flame. Now all I see is your twisted name. I was your shield, your only light, but you stabbed me in the dead of night. You blamed the world, but it was you, the cruelest love I ever knew. You were just an enemy in disguise, smiling wide while breaking ties. You kissed me with a traitor's fire, then left me drowning in the mire. I gave you all, you gave me war. Now I wrote you letters you never read, poured out my soul in every thread. But words don't matter when hearts have gone. You lit the match and I played along. They told us we would never last, still I held tight to our broken past. But now the truth is sharp and clear, you never meant to keep me near. Burn letters in the wind, ashes of what could have been. You promised love but gave me doubt, lit a fire then walked out. I trusted you with every line, but you were never truly mine. Now all that's left are empty words and burned letters that no one heard.
I watched you smile through every lie. You kissed me soft, then said goodbye. I begged the world to let us be, but I was fighting destiny. You swore they couldn't tear us down, but still you let me slowly drown. While holding hands behind the shade, you sealed the fate we never made. I kept writing to the moon. You held the flame, I held the pen, and now I'll never write again.
Burn letters in the wind, scattered dreams that won't rescind. You built a love on hollow ground, then left without a single sound. I bled for you in every line, but you were never truly mine. Now all I keep are fading scars and burned letters lost in jars. Oh, no one you. We said we'd stand through fire and rain. You held my hand through all the blame. They tried to tear us limb from limb, but I believed you never dim.
You said we'd fight the world as one, that you stay long after the damage was done. But now I see what's really true. You fought the world, but not with me, with you. I stood against the world for you, but you were standing with them too. I thought we shared the same damn fire, but you were colder, a hidden liar. I bled for love you never knew, held my breath just to get through. Now I'm done defending what's not true. I was against the world, but not with you. You played the part of fearless love, but whispered doubt when push came to shove. They warned me you'd betray the fight, but I was blind in borrowed light. I thought our bond could break the tide, but I was just a place to hide. You left me in the line of fire while you stood back and watched me tire. I stood against the world for you, but you were standing with them too. I thought we shared the same damn fire, but you were colder, a hidden liar. I bled for love you never knew, held my breath just to get through. Now I'm done defending what's not true. I was against the world, but not with you. I would have burned it all for us, but you let them turn me into dust. You watched me fall and didn't move. Now tell me, what did I try to prove? I stood against the world for you, while you became the villain too. You lit the fire, then stepped aside and left me drowning in your pride. I gave my soul for something fake, but I won't die for your mistake. I'm done defending what's not true. I was against the world, but not with you. You told me I was what you chose.
You'd stand by me come all the blows. I fought your war, I wore your scars, but I was never where your true dreams are. You looked me in the eye and lied, said we'll be fine while love just died. But truth came crawling through your smile. She was always waiting all the while. She was always the plan, I was just the detour you ran. While I believed in every vow, you held her hand behind the crowd. You played the part, rehearsed it well, while dragging me through private hell. I thought I was your promised land, but she was always, always the plan. You hid her name beneath your breath, while I wrote poems and chased what's left. I broke the rules, I lost it all, and you just watched me take the fall. Now every touch feels secondhand, a souvenir from where you stand. You kissed me like I was your end, but she's the one you always. She was always the plan, I was just the stand-in fan. While I was dreaming of your face, you were longing for her embrace. You played the part, rehearsed it well, while dragging me through private hell. I gave you all, I took the chance, but she was always, always the plan. Always the plan. I was the fire keeping you warm, but she was the storm you let transform. You never strayed, you just returned to the flame you always burned. And now I see I never had what she could give when things turned bad. She was always the plan, even while you held my hand. You fed me dreams you couldn't feel, and made her love the only real. You played the part, I lived the lie, while you kept her waiting close nearby. I thought I'd be your lifelong man, but she was always, always the plan. She was always the plan.
You smiled like I was the one, while loading the bullets into your gun. Told me they hated us, they'd never understand, but turns out you were playing both hands. You fed me Kiss me cold with no goodbye. You made me live just to die, with veins full of lies. You said trust me while you fed the fire. You said love me, but you were the liar. I gave you all my blood and my name. You left me drowning in your shame. You filled my veins with lies while staring straight into my eyes. I bled for you, I broke inside. You stood and watched while my heart died. You dressed betrayal up in grace, but I can see behind your face. No more mercy, no more tries, just veins full of lies.
You stood there in your Sunday dress. No tears, no fight, just one last breath. They told you it was for the best, and you bowed to silence like the rest.
I watched your hand slip out of mine, with not a word, not even a sign. They blessed your walk, they closed the door, and I was left wanting more.
It was a sanctioned goodbye, wrapped in a veil of holy lies. They said it's right, they said it's pure, but love like ours was never sure. You walked away with guiltless eyes and left me here to ask God why. You never fought, you let it die, just gave me a sanctioned goodbye.
They raised their voice and you went still, like loving me was just a pill. You swallowed once, then threw away, when they said he's not the way. I would have burned for just one chance to hold you through their circumstance, but you let them choose your fate and called it love. Boy, it was hate. It was a sanctioned goodbye, dressed in grace and family pride. They tore the roots we tried to grow and told you it was best to go. You didn't cry, you didn't try. You let them paint me as the lie. You turned your back, didn't even sigh, and gave me a sanctioned goodbye. Did I ever matter at all? Was I just your secret downfall? You kissed me once before the gate, then handed me over to fate. It was a sanctioned goodbye. No room to plead, no space to fight. They blessed the end with folded hands while I was sinking in quicksand.
but I watched your fire fade away. Their words became your sacred script, and I became the one you slipped. You looked at me like I was wrong just because I didn't belong. They pulled your heart with polished lies, and now I see it in your eyes. You're chained to their approval, like I was never real at all. You bowed your head, ignored the fall, while I screamed behind the wall. You let them write our ending with no mercy, no defending. Now I'm left with the love removal, 'cause you were chained to their approval.
You used to dream out loud with me. Now silence is your loyalty. You traded truth for calm facade, and left our fire underside.
You wore the mask they made for you and called it love. I wish it's true, but I can't love a hollow frame who let them spit upon my name. You're chained to their approval, like I was just a passing phase. You threw away our burning days to walk their cold and narrow ways. You stood still, I was bleeding. You called it peace, but it's misleading. I lost you in their ruling circle. You were chained to their approval. Would you have loved me if they said yes, or was I just a test you guessed?
You talk of fate, but you obeyed, while I was the only one who stayed.
You're chained to their approval, and now I finally see it clear. You never planned to keep me near, you just needed me to disappear. Now I'm not begging, I'm not crying, I'm done with hoping, done with trying. This love was never truly mutual. You were chained to their approval. I watched you walk down that aisle. A stranger's hand held yours with a smile. No glance from me in all that crowd, just silent vows, so cold and loud. They said it's fate, a better life, but I was left with shattered light. You chose their dreams, denied our time, and left me with this broken rhyme. The wedding wasn't mine to share. You pledged your love to someone there. I stood outside, a ghost unseen, holding wasn't mine to share. You pledged your love to someone there. I stood outside, a ghost unseen, holding on to what had been. You said forever, but it's a lie. Your heart belongs to their goodbye. The wedding wasn't mine to take, just a memory left to break. Everything I had, but love like ours was never glad. You said goodbye before the vow and left me broken here and now. The wedding wasn't mine to share. You pledged your love to someone there. I stood outside, a ghost unseen, holding on to what had been. You said forever, but it's a lie. Your heart belongs to their goodbye.